Hello students, I welcome you all once again to the e-learning sessions of Automobile Engineering. Myself Hardik Shah, and during this lecture series we will discuss some interesting topics in the subject of automobile engines. We have already started a new chapter, that is the fuel system supply, or the fuel supply systems for the SI engine. Okay, and today we will learn about the MPFI system and the other important topics of this chapter. So I hope you will see this video till the end to completely understand this topic and gain your skills in automobile engineering. I also request you to note down any queries which arises during the lecture and ask me it in comment section. I will try to solve all the queries as soon as possible. Okay, so without much delay, now let's start our today's video. So let's first start with a single point, or you can say throttle body injection. Now the earliest and the simplest type of the fuel injection is the single point, or you can say simply replaces the carburetor with one or two fuel injector nozzles in a throttle body, okay, which is the throat of the engine's air intake manifold. Now for some automakers, the single point injection was a stepping stone to the more complex multi-point systems. Okay, now though not as precise as the systems that have followed, the throttle body injection, it actually meters the fuel better than the carburetor, and it is less expensive and it is very easier to service. Thereafter, next one, that is the port injection, or you can say multi-point fuel injection system, MPFI. So in multi-point fuel injection, it devotes the separate injector nozzle to the each cylinder right outside its intake port. So which is actually why the system is sometimes called port injection. Okay, now shooting the fuel vapor this close to the intake port almost ensures that it will be drawn completely into the cylinder without any wasting. So the main advantage of this MPFI system is fuel is more precisely goes than in a TBI, you can say throttle body injection. It is having the better air fuel ratio desiredness and the improved all the aspect of the efficiencies. Okay, now also it virtually eliminates the possibility that the fuel will condense or collect in the intake manifold. So with throttle body condition injection and the carburetor, the intake manifold must be designed in such a way that it does not conduct any engine's heat. Sorry, it should conduct engine heat and measures the vaporized liquid fuel. Now this is unnecessary of the engine equipped with the MPFI, so the intake manifold can be formed from the very lightweight material because it is not required in that, even with the plastic also. Okay, so incremental fuel economy improvements actually it gives us the good result. Where the conventional metal intake manifold must be located at the top of the conduction, top of the engine to conduct the heat, but in MPFI it should be placed more creatively. Okay, so this is the basic of this MPFI system. Now there are different types of the fuel injection system. So basically, as we discussed, one is the throttle body injection, or you can say single point injection. So in a single point injector, it was actually, we can say, first step before the more complexity multi-point fuel injection comes. Okay, now precisely we can say the system has actually evolved, but the throttle body injection, it is having the better efficiency than the carburetors. Okay, now in port injection also, as we discussed, what is happening in this multi-point injection, it is having the individual you can say injectors inside the cylinders which is on the intake manifold. Okay, so it is not directly going in a combustion chamber, it is having the individual injectors in a intake manifold, and thereafter it will deliver the fuel from that point. Okay, so it will be drawn completely into the cylinder, so fuel is not wasted in this MPFI systems. Okay, and in MPFI sometimes it is also electronic MPFI. So what is happening in electronic MPFI, there is ECM, or you can say ECU also. So what it does, so ECU is basically for the measuring of the perfect fuel requirement. Okay, thereafter next is sequential fuel injection. What is that? So sometimes it is called SFI, that is SPFI also, sequential port fuel injection, or you can say time injection. So in SFI type is a multi-port injection. So through basic MPFI uses the multiple injectors that sprays that fuel at the same time, or you can say in a group. Now sequential fuel injections triggers each injector nozzle independently and it is on a time. Okay, so SFI sprays the fuel immediately before or as the intake valve opens. So fuel filled systems are working like this. Okay, now let's see all the fuel filled systems of the engine for the injection system. So the function of the system are to store the fuel for the automobile engines, to supply it to the carburetor in the required amount and in proper condition. Okay, so it also provides the indication to the driver of the regarding the amount of the fuel which is remaining in the tank also. Okay, so in SI engine, the fuel supply system consists of the fuel tank, fuel lines, fuel pump, fuel filter, thereafter air cleaner and the inlet manifold. Okay, now let's discuss how this fuel goes inside. So let's discuss about the fuel pumps. So many types of the fuel pumps are used in a modern car. Okay, all of which operates on a same principle. Okay, now a fuel pump transfers the petrol from the tank to the carburetor, you can say injection system through the fine grain filter. Now it must deliver the petrol in sufficient volume at the desired pressure to keep the carburetor on a full of the petrol irrespective of the engine speed. Okay, so there are basically two types of the pumps which are most commonly used. First one is mechanical type, second one mechanical type, or you can say it is on the AC mechanical pump, and the second one is a electrical pump, or you can say electrical AC electrical pump. So let's discuss both of them one by one. So first one is mechanical pump. A mechanically operated diaphragm type fuel pump is actually shown here. So it is mounted on the engine and it is operated by the eccentric mounted on the camshaft of the engine. So the pump consists of the spring loaded flexible diaphragm which is actuated by the rocker arm, which in turn operated by the eccentric. Okay, so inlet and the outlet, that means spring loaded valves, are provided to ensure the fuel flow in a proper direction. So as the rocker arm is moved by the eccentric, or you can say this shape, the diaphragm is pulled down and it causes the particular vacuum in a chamber. Now this causes the inlet valve to open, and due to vacuum it admits the fuel in a pump chamber through the strainer. Now further rotation of this eccentric will release the rocker arm and the diaphragm moves upward, which causes the inlet valve to close while the outlet valve opens. Okay, and hence the pump delivers the fuel to the carburetor inside the float chamber. Okay, now when the float chamber is full of the petrol, the pumping of the more fuel is not needed till some of it is consumed. Okay, so if the engine runs continuously at the light loading condition, the shaft will be running all the time and there is excessive pressure in the pump. So this may damage this pump itself. So to avoid this rocker arm, you can say pull rod connection is made flexible, and when the float chamber is full, the diaphragm is not operated through the camshaft is running. Okay. Second one is an electrical fuel pump. So this pump contains a flexible diaphragm which is operated by the electrical means you can say electromagnets also. Okay, so the middle of the diaphragm is fixed to an armature. Thereafter a rod extends from the middle of the diaphragm and it passes through the center hole in a electromagnet, and it is called solenoid. Okay, so the other end of the rod carries the electrical contact points. Now return springs are used to keep the diaphragm in its position, and closing the ignition switch, what will happen? It energizes the electromagnetic winding. Thus the magnetic flux is generated which pulls the armature, compressing the return spring, and thereby it moves the diaphragm up. Now this causes the suction in the pump chamber, and so that due to this suction the fuel is drawn into the chamber through this inlet valve. Now but as you can say the armature moves, the rod disconnects the breaker point and thus it interrupts the electric supply. So the electromagnet is now de-energized and the armature falls back due to the spring action. So this causes the diaphragm to move down, which is creating the pressure in the chamber to open the outlet valve. Okay, so thus the fuel is now delivered to the carburetor inside the float chamber. Okay, now this cycle repeats and the fuel is continuously pumped in a carburetor. So these pumps need not to be located close to the engine because this is the electrical pumps. Okay, so these are actually located near the fuel tank and they are not subjected to the engine heat. Okay, now these pumps starts operating immediately as the ignition switch is on. Okay, so this was about the pumps. Next is the fuel filters. What is that? So a fine mesh gauge is used as a filter to clean the petrol. Okay, now it is more suitable where the petrol contains very large dust particles but not so effective in preventing the fine particles and the water from going inside the cylinder. Okay, so these filters are actually used to filter this petrol, and so this dust particle will not go in the combustion chamber and even in a carburetor because it can actually block the fuel jets also. Okay, so we are using these fuel filters for filtering the petrol. So that's it in today's session. We will meet in next session with new chapter. Thank you so much. Stay tuned. Goodbye.